What is up, YouTube? Welcome to Premium MMA. My name is Hydro, aka Big Splash, and I'm here to give you my quick picks for UFC Fight Night, Sergey Povovich versus Curtis Blades. Let's get straight into it. Matchup, we got Brady Hiestand versus Dana Beckrell. Brady Hiestand is a wrestler, not a striker at all. I don't like his striking. He needs to work on it. He has worked on it, has gotten a little better. He did just get a win, but in that win he was able to wrestle. His wrestling even got better ever since his tough finale with Ricky Trucio, which Ricky Trucio won. But Brady Hiestand did look better in his actual UFC debut, and I liked how he looked. His striking still didn't look too good, but he was able to strike with his opponent still. But his wrestling is phenomenal. Brady Hiestand's grappling and scrambling is phenomenal, and he's really good in that department. Dana is mainly a striker. He doesn't go for takedowns at all. He just tries to knock your head off. He tries to get the fight finished within the first round, which I like. He's very aggressive. He'll press you against the fence. But in this matchup, I think Brady would just go for takedowns, and hopefully Dana could defend those takedowns, but I doubt he wouldn't. Brady's wrestling has gotten way better, and like I said, once he gets him to the ground, I think it's over for Dana because I've not seen any ground game from Dana. He always keeps everything on the feet. Dana throws these loopy punches. He doesn't fight behind his jab, and even the commentators in his fights, like DC, is always like, "You gotta fight behind the jab. You gotta fight behind the jab," and Dana here does not. He throws his right, like an overhand right before a jab, if anything, like literally, and then he throws left hooks all day, just loopy shots, left hooks over and right overhand, and he can get caught. But once if he does catch you, he does have knockout power. He puts people to sleep. But here, I think Brady has the IQ to, dodge those loopy punches or at least see him coming, and, really did his research for this fight and just take this dude straight to the ground and wrestle him, grapple him, do it for 3 rounds if he needs to. Brady has the endurance. So I think Brady is the better fighter in this matchup. Well, I wouldn't say better fighter because Donna's stand up is better than Brady's. So that's why Brady has to take Donna to the ground. And I think Brady can do that. I think Brady will maybe submit him. He'll throw up a bunch of submissions because Brady he's not lazy on the ground. He doesn't just stay there and just stay on a dominant position. He will scramble. He'll try to get submissions. He'll try to choke you, all that. So I got Brady Hiestand in this matchup just because Donna's striking isn't it's not as good as it says on paper. So I got Brady Hiestand in this matchup. Next up, we got Priscilla Kuchera versus Karine Silva. I got Karine Silva in this matchup. Karine Silva is a killer. That's her nickname, Karine Killer Silva. And she's good. She's patient. She's patient with the striking with her stand up, and she has power as well. She puts her opponents away, even in the UFC. In her debut, she knocked out her opponent and then got the takedown at the same time. So they didn't really know how to score that as a takedown or a knockdown. But no, she is relentless and crazy. But also she is patient, and she tries to read you. But she also is good on the ground. Will take you to the ground and pound you. She looks for submissions on the ground, and she will submit. And she submitted her last opponent with a Darce choke, beautiful Darce choke, set up perfectly. Right after that right hook, and then that takedown, boom, straight into the Darce, done with. And yeah, she looked great in that fight. She impressed me. But Priscilla, on the other hand, Priscilla is a good fighter. She relies on her striking. I think she's mainly a striker, but her striking isn't that good. She has surprised. She has upset a lot of people. She's been a huge underdog before, and won as a huge underdog. So that's where you got to kind of be careful with Priscilla here. But I do think Karine Silva will get the job done in this matchup. Maybe not get a finish because Priscilla is a good fighter, a good all around fighter. She's aware on the ground. She could last the whole 3 rounds. But yeah, but maybe Karine Silva can get a finish. But I want Karine here to get a finish. She does finish her opponents. And yeah, this is going to be a good fight. So I got Kareem Silva in this matchup. Next up, we got Francis Marshall versus William Gomez. This one was a hard fight to choose. This one's like 50-50 for me. I got William Gomez in this matchup. That's what my conclusion came to. But Francis Marshall is no joke. He's undefeated for a reason. He is aggressive and relentless. Only thing I did not like about his fighting and his stand-up game is that it's very telegraphed. And I don't think he's fought in his debut. He didn't fought that good of an opponent. Well, I wouldn't say he's not that good of an opponent just because he's in the UFC. He actually did fight a great opponent. It was Rojo, yeah, something Rojo, and Francis ended up. It was like back and forth the first and second round, but in the second round, towards the end of the second round, Francis Marshall just got the best of Rojo and knocked that dude out, and it was a nice knockout. But but he was very telegraphed in that fight. If you watch that fight, he was getting hit too, and Rojo was able to read those punches and stuff. So Francis just was able to land. He was pressing Rojo, and Rojo didn't like that pressure, getting pressed against the cage, and Francis capitalized on that and just went off on him, and ended up getting the knockout. William Gomez, on the other hand, he's a great striker. He's more technical on the ground. He's very good on the ground. He doesn't tap. He's a dog. And I think just in this matchup, that's what I'm saying. Francis Marshall, his punches are very telegraphed and he's wild. I think in William Gomez, he is very technical. He's patient, and he could use his striking to set up his takedowns because he's a great grappler. He looks for submissions all the time as well, and he could just get out of submissions. In his last fight, he almost got put away in a triangle, and everyone was like, "Oh no, he's gonna tap, he's gonna tap." He did not tap and got out of that triangle somehow. Just pulled his head right out of there, and yeah, that was pretty gnarly. Ended up getting the win in decision, but it was a good fight. He fought a good fight. He showed that he's patient. He could pick out his shots, and he's good on the feet. He picked out his shots very well. So I got William Gomez in this matchup just because he's more just for the IQ, just for the IQ reason. I think he has a higher IQ than Francis, and I think he is able to give Francis his first loss in the UFC, take away his O. So yeah, the pick here is William Gomez. Next up, we got Muhammad Usman versus Junior Tafa. This is actually a 50-50 matchup for me as well. Junior Tafa came from Glory Kickboxing. He was good in kickboxing. He did have a few losses, but other than that, he was able to put away his opponents in the first round. I'm not too sure what his opponents' records were in the Glory Kickboxing, but all I know is Junior Tafa was putting them away in the first round. Muhammad Usman, on the other hand, he's already fought in UFC fighters. He trains with UFC fighters. But I think his striking just has to get more technical. He throws big loopy shots. He leaves his chin wide open and could get caught. And that's where Junior Tafa here could capitalize and clip him. But to be honest, Muhammad Usman has fought good strikers already and just put him away too in the first round. So I have Muhammad Usman in this matchup. I think he has been working on his striking, and I think he's getting more technical and calculated, especially fighting a kickboxer. Going in knowing fighting a kickboxer. If y'all can't choose between these two, then I'll just go under 2.5 rounds. Even if it's under 1.5 rounds, I'll go with under 1.5 rounds with this fight for sure. So yeah, but my pick here is Muhammad Usman. On to the next one. Next up, we got Karol Rosa versus Norma Dumont. Karol Rosa is a relentless grappler, and she's a good striker. I would say she's a better grappler than striker. She grapples way more than her striking for some reason, but she's really good in the striking, I think, and she's able to put away her opponents with the striking. And she has hard, heavy hands because she's a featherweight. Those are the heaviest girls in the UFC. So, and yeah, I think Karol Rosa will dominate this fight with Norma Dumont, because Norma Dumont, she will try to take this fight to the ground because Karol Rosa will outstrike her, and Norma will try to just put Rosa against the fence. But Rosa won't have that. Rosa is good. She is so slick. She'll sweep you from under your feet and just get on top of you and just grind you out for the rest of the rounds. And she could do that for 3 rounds. So my pick here is Karol Rosa. Next up, we got Rani Yahya versus Montel Jackson. I got Montel in this fight just because I think Ronnie is just a little older. In his footage, he didn't impress me with anything. He fought like an old man. And I think Montel here is just a better all-around fighter. He will outstrike Ronnie and outgrapple Ronnie for sure. Montel Jackson's wrestling is actually underrated. He's a good wrestler. And his striking, he's very patient with his striking. I would say his striking is pretty boring because he's a bit too patient with his striking. Because I don't know if it's like he's too scared to go in there or if he's just trying to read. Because he does hit his opponents. He's a counter striker. He hits his opponents well. He just waits until his opponents just strike and then he'll just boom, boom, boom and just back right out and then just wait. Probably throw some feints, and just read his opponent. But Montel Jackson is a great all-around mixed martial artist, and I think he will get it done in this matchup. I think it will go to the 3rd round to decision just because how much of a dog Ronnie is. Ronnie is a veteran. He's been in the mixed martial art game for a while, and yeah, so I think he's going to be tough enough to go to decision, but Montel Jackson will win in decision. So my pick here is Montel Jackson. Next up, we got Ricky Glenn versus Cristo Gallegos. I got Ricky Glenn in this matchup. Ricky Glenn is a dog, and he is better what people think he is. Just by his appearance, I don't think people are going to take him seriously because he doesn't look the part, but he is the part. He does the part. Cristo Gallegos, he did not impress me at all. He always gets taken down. He has bad takedown defense. Even when he wrestles, when he tries to wrestle, I'm surprised he gets 3 takedowns in a fight. I always see him getting taken down. His striking is decent, but Ricky Glenn in this matchup is the better all-around fighter. Ricky Glenn is a great grappler. He's good in the scrambles, and he's just good in the striking. He's able to defend takedowns, and I think he will be able to defend Christos Gallegos' takedowns and pull out the win, maybe get a knockout. Ricky Glenn has power, and his striking is so underrated. His striking is good. He looks like a world-class kickboxer out there who is able to defend takedowns. And like, don't get me wrong, Gallegos is a good fighter. I think he will at least get like 1 takedown on him, but Ricky Glenn is a good grappler. He's a good scrambler, so I think he'll be able to reverse positions. And Ricky Glenn he's relentless. Like I said, he's good on the ground, so he looks for submissions. He will look for submissions off his back. He will reverse positions and look for a submission there and just keep you there. And if he wants you to come back to the feet, he'll get you back to the feet and just out kickbox you. So I got Ricky Glenn in this matchup. He is actually a really good fighter. He is a vet in the game, so I got Ricky Glenn in this matchup. Next up, we got Jeremiah Wells versus Matthew Semmelbergers. I got Jeremiah Wells in this matchup. Jeremiah Wells is a relentless fighter. He puts on the pressure on all his opponents, no matter who he fights, and he gets to knockout. He will finish you. He's a good striker. He will take you down. He's good on the ground, and he doesn't stop moving on the ground. He won't accept no position. If he's on his back, he'll try to reverse positions, which he will. He's good at reversing position. He's a good wrestler, a great wrestler, or he'll just try to throw up submissions from the ground. He's active. He's a very active fighter, which I love. I love watching him fight. That's why I have him in this matchup. But you got to be careful with Matthew here. Matthew Semmelberger is no joke. He's a good striker, and I think this matchup honestly is gonna stay on the fight, and I think it's gonna be a dog fight. This is gonna be a great fight. This is gonna be a real dog fight, and it's gonna stay on the feet. Someone here will get put out. Matthew Semmelberger has the power to knock someone out. Jeremiah Wells has the power to knock someone out. 2 heavy-handed welterweights. Just one is just a little bit shorter. Even though Jeremiah Wells is used to fighting people just as or bigger than him. He's short in the welterweight, so he's been like that for a while. But Jeremiah Wells is the more exciting fighter, the more active fighter in this matchup, and I think he could get it done here. So yeah, my pick here is Jeremiah Wells, but don't sleep on Matthew Semelsberger. Next up, we got Yasmin Luciendo versus Brogan Walker. I got Luciendo in this matchup. I can't go with Brogan Walker. She disappointed me in her bout with Juliana Miller. Juliana Miller is not even a good striker. She's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist. And Juliana kept that shit on the feet. Brogan thought she could outstrike Juliana. Juliana worked this girl, Brogan Walker, dude. I thought Brogan Walker was going to be able to outstrike her. She's supposed to be the better striker. But no. And just recently, Juliana Miller just got outclassed by a real UFC fighter. So I can't go with Brogan Walker anymore until I see something impressive. Until she has a few more fights, maybe gets a little better. But I have Luciendo in this matchup. Luciendo, she is so exciting to watch to fight. She's relentless on the feet. She's not scared to stand in your face. She keeps the pressure on you, and she's very young. She's still young, and she's that good. So that just goes to show what level she'll be at when she gets a little older, probably like in like 4 or 5 years. So yeah, the pick here is Luciendo, and I don't think she'll be able to put Brogan Walker out. It'll probably go to decision, but yeah, I have Luciendo just outclassing Brogan Walker for sure. Next up, we got Bobby Green versus Jared Gordon. I like this matchup. I like how they gave Jared Gordon Bobby Green. Bobby Green is a great striker. I actually have him. I pick him. I pick Bobby Green. Jared Gordon is no joke as well. Jared Gordon has power, but he coulda did a little more to Patty. Honestly, if Jared Gordon is this good of a striker, if he lands 5 strikes and only gets hit 3 times, he should have been able to put out Patty like nothing. Patty's striking is not that good, and their striking is basically the same. But in what I see when I watch footage, Bobby Green, his defense is crazy. He doesn't keep his head in the center line, and he knows how to what they say it. He knows how to angle his shots. He knows how to get the right angles to hit you without getting hit as well. And he has fast lightning hands, and he hits hard. So I think Bobby Green will be able to put Jared away in this matchup. Jared's hands didn't look that great against Patty. Patty was keeping up with him. Bobby Green was piecing up Drew Dober in his last fight, but Drew Dober just got the best of him. But Jared Gordon is no Drew Dober. Jared Gordon, Bobby's gonna put it on him. Bobby Green, I think Bobby Green here could get the TKO. Won't knock him out, just probably stun him and then just ground and pound him, or pound him on the fence and get the win. Even win in decision if he went all the way to decision, because Jared Gordon is tough. Jared Gordon is no joke. But here in this matchup, Bobby Green's striking is better than Jared's. So I got Bobby Green's. Next up, we got Brad Tavares versus Bruno Silva. This is going to be a mostly striking matchup. These are 2 really good strikers, but I think Bruno Silva is the better striker. And in a mostly striking matchup, I always choose the best striker in a mostly striking matchup. That's why I have Bruno Silva winning. I think he is the more technical striker and has the power to put anybody's lights out. Not saying Brad Tavares is not a good striker. He is a decent striker. But he does get hit a lot. He gets hit a lot. And Bruno Silva, if Bruno Silva hits you, you're out. So I got Bruno Silva in this matchup. Bruno Silva has the better IQ, and this fight is gonna definitely stay on the feet. So yeah, Bruno Silva. And next up, and we got the main event: Sergey Povovich versus Curtis Blades. I got Sergey Povovich all the way. Anyone who has Curtis Blades in this matchup, watch Curtis Blades be the biggest underdog on the card. So if he's not, that'll surprise me. Curtis Blades is going to try to wrestle Sergey. That's not going to work. Sergey got better at his wrestling. He better have gotten and worked on it at his wrestling, especially after that his only lost with Alex Overeem. But after that, he's faced very good opponents, very great opponents, and was able to put him out. He finishes his fights in the first round. I think his like max fight, that the longest fight he's fought was only like 7 minutes. Yeah, this dude is dangerous. So if he touches you, you're done. He has fast lightning speed hands, and he's a heavyweight. Curtis Blades, I feel bad for him in this matchup. Curtis Blades, like I said, he's gonna try to wrestle him, but I think Sergey is gonna come out and just all with his hands, just straight shots, 50 cal. His hands are like 50 cows. Just put a nigga away, fucking knock a nigga head off his shoulders. So I got Sergey Povich matchup. He's gonna put on a great performance in this main event, and I'm happy he's got a main event. I think this is his second one, third one maybe. He needs a title shot already, but I don't know how he'll do against Jones. So, but right now it's Sergey Povich versus Curtis Blades, and I got Sergey Povich in this matchup. That is it for my UFC picks for UFC Fight Night. Sergey Povich versus Curtis Blades. This is going to be a very exciting one. So many exciting fights on this card. Can't wait for it. If y'all enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.